Hello YouTube and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. We're once again in New York City right now, standing next to our new tracks. In this episode we are going to be jumping on board one of these brand new trains. In fact, you can see the train just in front. You can just see the smoke billowing out. It hasn't yet started moving. I think it started moving and then stopped, waiting for another train to go past a signal. But we're going to be getting on board one of those trains and taking a run from Newport News all the way to Baltimore and then back. In fact, here comes one of them now. But before we do that, we need to ensure that we get the bus route running in McAllen, something that I actually forgot to do. So the first thing we're going to do is manage that bus route, and then as soon as we've done that, we're going to get on board one of these trains and see just what it is like and if the views are as spectacular or grandiose as I thought they might be. So make sure you stay tuned to see all of that happen in this coming episode. Right, so beforehand I have placed the buses, or the bus stations and bus stops down. All we need to do is pop in a road depot, and I need to find a place to put this over. I think a road depot would be nice way out here. There we go. Let's put it in there. You can see that I have connected the station in a weird pattern. We've got like a weird S over here. But it does follow along with this kind of decently, because you can see that is actually not too bad at all. And someone's decided to pop in a shop right. Did that shop exist? I don't think so. I think McAllen is growing already. Well, there's our road depot. We just need to set up the route now. So we're going to have a new line, and we're going to go bus station there. Right, let's see if this update has made any of this better. Highland Street. Why don't you go up that way? There we go. And then now you see, I would have come back this way if I was going to do that, but I suppose I could go back to what. Now you see, that is where I get confused. So Washington Street, we want 1 or 2, I have no idea. We want 1. That means on the way back we certainly want 2. There we go. See, now this makes no sense whatsoever to me. 5th Street, we want 2. We're correct there. Forest Street, we also want 2. What on earth? Oh, actually we could go for 2 on Washington Street, therefore come around this way and then go for 1 on Washington Street and then see what happens. No, you see, that's just stupid. You want to... Why would you turn around there? That makes no sense. All you've got to do is go this way. Let's stick a waypoint in and see what happens. I want to see... I'm going to stick a waypoint right there, and then on that route, I'm going to try and force... Where's the waypoint? That's waypoint. They still haven't fixed it. They still have not fixed that problem. See, it would be very easy to just cross the lane and then go that way. that's something that I think I need to bring up. Right. PARD McAllen 01. There we go. Let's see what vehicles are available. Guess what? It's just the Mac. Let's go for 6 of them, 6 Macs. There we go. Paint them red. Like so. Off you go on the route. What you can see, McAllen 1. Job done. Okay, let's jump on board a train. There we go. Right. Should we stay right at the front like this? Should we stay right at the front? I'm not sure. I think that might be okay-ish. It's actually quite a nice potential screenshot I'm looking at here as well. Just looking at a potential picture I could take. Let's see if this works. There we go. Like that. Does make the train look rather large. Kind of shows. And I wonder if I were to switch on the depth of field, what would happen? Not terrible. Let's try it. Print screen. Take a picture of that. Oh, autosave just comes up just in time, which means that it's time to switch off that. Get on board this vehicle. I think we'll stick at the front and be on our merry way. Well, actually, I think go fairly low down. There we go. Okay, let's get on our journey to New York City. Or let's just wait, because we need to wait for a moment. But we get to see one of the other trains leaving. I would say it would be interesting to see where that ends up, but we'll probably... we might actually see it crossing as we approach McAllen. We might see that in the distance. That could be interesting. So the first thing that happens whilst on this brand new track is we wait, or brand new line. And this is for spacing. Still waiting. Oh, there comes another train. No, it's not. That's the train crossing the bridge. Ignore me. It does look nice though. Does look nice. Maybe I should fast forward this to get through this all. Let's fast forward a little bit. There we go, now we're on our way, just as another train arrives. That train is looking a little bit worse for wear, it is getting a little bit old. We might need to replace that train soon. Right. Oh, and here comes another one already. Well, that's awkward. That is going to be waiting for quite a while. Given what I did in the last episode with the around the quarry, I am actually quite tempted to start doing a bunch of detailing, because I think that would make the tracks and everything look a lot more realistic. I mean, this is quite nice overall. But some fencing might be better. I think some fencing might look a little bit better. And of course we are going to be going on to the elevated section shortly after New York. We're going to be elevated to get over the bridge, and then we're going to be back down on level ground, only to be elevated once again to go into McAllen and then stay elevated all the way until we are near Baltimore. Right. Let's see. Decent 48 miles per hour, 49, we're accelerating. And continuing to accelerate at 51 miles per hour. That is quite nice. What I have realised is that I have a tendency to perhaps put too many trains on a line. I think I could reduce the number of trains on lines. I like to see lots of trains going in and out, but realistically you'd only see that many trains going in and out at a station, and at Newport News it is obviously one of those cases. Same with Miami and Concord, all sort of hubs of activity. But on this kind of route, maybe we should see one train. I've already seen two, and maybe before New York I might see a third. Potentially. We'll have to see. I thought it was balanced out okay, but I might be wrong. 60 miles per hour, we are almost at maximum speed. I think 62 miles per hour is the maximum speed of this vehicle. 61. That is pretty good going, as I can see New York ahead of me. 62 miles per hour. Also thinking of detailing, perhaps it's a better idea to not detail and instead finish off this series and then detail in the next one as the brakes come on for the station. There are some passengers waiting. We have 21 on board currently. That lady just came up the stairs at the right moment in time. And we are down to 9, 10, 12, 13, 16, 20, 23. Oh, that isn't much. 23 of 60. Perhaps it will take some time to sort of pick up. Next stop, McAllen Halt. Perhaps I should name that McAllen and change the other one to something else. So this spur over to the left, sorry, over to the right, is where we got, that's the depot in that direction. That train line goes all the way to Concord. And off to the right you can see the bridge. That is where we are going. So the first part of the elevated railway. I might actually go as far to say 50% of this railway is elevated, not 40%, because I did not factor in the bridge last time. There you go, we are now climbing. We are now on an elevated section. You can actually clearly see us climbing up to tree level. And time to cross the river. You can see some smoke in the distance. I'm not sure what train that is from. Could be from any train. Might be the iron one. Might be, I don't know. Could be the iron one. I doubt I would be able to see the smoke from that far though. Unless it wasn't smoke. you do get confused sometimes with this in the distance, which is natural. There's another train. Okay, I think this slot might be reasonably spread apart. No, I can definitely see some smoke. Unless it's an odd tree line. 45 miles per hour. Passing by a massive rock. A cliffside, if you will. Oh, that does look nice. That does look nice. Now, what I want to do is I want to try and get the colours realistic on this. That is the goal, to try and get realistic colouring. At the moment, I think it's a bit too saturated. So I want to see, maybe I need to drop out the yellows just a little bit. And here we go on to the next elevated section. From here on in, we're going to be on an elevated section for quite a long time. And I think I have most certainly missed the other one. Oh, look at that! We've got the iron train going across. Over on that side. That isn't bad. That kind of reminds me of what I did on Transport Fever Series 2 The Great Lakes. On the approach into Washington, I had sort of, it comes out of a tunnel, goes over a bridge, and then underneath there were loads of lines, and that wasn't all oil. That was actually pretty neat. Thank you, autosave, once again. That's not bad. Look, you can see vehicles going along this route. Should probably move this a little bit forward. There's a Mac. Passengers coming into the station. That actually looks rather nice. I do like the way that looks. And apparently it looks like they've already built houses up here. Well, that was unexpected. That was actually quite unexpected. Building things between the bridges is not. I've seen that. But down that road I was not expecting that. Look, there's more building. Cool. Very cool. Taking a look around, you can see one of the trains going to Reno. The train that started alongside us is probably long gone now. In fact, that could be it, just leaving Huntsville. It did have a longer journey and did have one more stop than we did. Hello. Oh, that sound cut out very quickly. Interesting. More elevated track. We are going to go into a tunnel. We are still technically elevated because the whole terrain's elevated. It's just a short tunnel. You can actually see a bunch of trains out in the distance now. I count 1, 2, 3. I think I count 4 trains in total. No, wait, 5, 6. 6 trains in total from this side. So the passengers should get a good view as we go straight into this tunnel. Popping out of this tunnel momentarily, we will be going straight into a second tunnel. As we get much closer to the crossover. Oh, that's nice. I could do some detailing there if I wanted to. And now we're going to cross over onto more elevated track, and you can see just the amount of tracks in this area. This is a very busy area of railway. You can see a lot in the way of railways. And we're going through the quarry section. This actually looks really cool. That is, it all matches. It all matches really well. That looks like one large quarry as opposed to just a small area. And I think that is really important. We have 35 of 60 on board, which is not bad at all. It isn't great, but it's not bad. Especially considering that this is the first run. So this is, I think, train number 6 of 7 going in this direction. So they were still adding trains to the route as we hit the brakes to enter the station. And we are at Baltimore, and there are definitely passengers waiting. The question is it more than 35? I think it is. And stop. Nice to have the buffers here. I think it might be more than 35. Let's find out. No, it's only 24. Well, that is unfortunate. We have 2 new trucks available. We'll be looking at those trucks as time goes on. But that is a bit of a disappointment. That is a bit of a disappointment, unfortunately. What we're going to do now is manage what is going on at these stations and make sure everything is going okay. How's McAllen looking? 130 going up to 156. It only had 80 something earlier. Suddenly everything's kicked off in McAllen, it seems. Lovely. That is good news. That is certainly good news. And if we can get this to grow, I'd like it to grow out this way potentially, as well as this way. That would be nice, especially if it grew up towards the railway lines on this side. That would also be ideal. Look at this. How much are you carrying? 106. That is not bad. You are running out of coal. Okay, well, I think it is about time we managed both these vehicles, not cloned, edited them, and added an additional gondola. Is it that grey? No, it's the next grey up. There we go. Or should I add 2 gondolas? Let's add 2. There you go. Now you have 10. So you should be able to carry 120 now on each run. So that should help. How are you still pulling away from this? 50, 50. Now you shouldn't be pulling away. There we go. Oh wait, no, that's peeling off, isn't it? No, no, no. No, that's... yeah, it's doing something. Are you slowing down for something? You're slowing down for a signal, aren't you? Yes, you are. Well, okay, fair enough. But there we have it. Okay, this is not able to give us full loads anymore, which is a concern. That's happened earlier. So I'm just wondering what I could do to enhance this area. What would look pretty cool over here? Just trying to think. As an experiment, I want to try something. That just formed water for me. That wasn't what I was after. What I wanted to do was try to make a bit of a ditch. There. Start with a ditch, and I want to try and just paint this ditch in something. Not that. Potentially that's a good start. Let's start with this, and then try and find something that would do the trick. Sand red. What's sand red? Sure, let's do some of that. And then I'll mix it in with some rocks. Especially around the edge. And sand red again. Doesn't look great, it really does not. And then I want cliff, no, gravel 2. Here we go. Small amounts of this. No, gravel 3. That's better. So it just looks a little bit more like some sort of work going on, as opposed to just nothing. Even here, I just want to sort of gravel this all up. I just want to see what happens when you actually do this to this entire area. Because otherwise it's starting to look... I think one of the problems is that this looks bare without it. See, that starts to look a little bit more detailed, a little bit more useful. Not useful is perhaps not the right word for it. So I could just lift up this area and then use maybe the flatten tool, just slightly flatten it like that, just smooth out the edges just a little. Hey look, now you've just got a little bit more, just a little bit more going on. I do want a darker, is it dirt? It's just dirt that they used, that's all it was. Yeah, they actually just used dirt textures. Of course they did. Let's just use dirt textures ourselves then, and then add the gravel back in after. There we go, and then I'll just use very low strength. Like that. Just around the edge. And I'll blend it in with the sand that's around here, which is what? That? Let's blend this in a bit. There we go. And then add in that gravel. And this time the gravel is pretty strong but small. There we go. So we've just got the gravel around there. And then drop the strength and just have little spots of it around here. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Curious as to why I'm actually doing this now. This isn't going to do anything, it's not going to make anything better. I'm just trying to make it look better, I guess. There. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. There aren't any more assets that I can pop in here that will work. No, that's it. Hey, look, just a larger, something that looks a little bit more. Look, that's a larger iron mine. You know, it isn't perfect, but it is a larger iron mine, which does sort of help with the area. And I think that's kind of important. You can see, I mean, to put it into context, take a look at this, which is a coal mine, fine. And then take a look at this one, which is a coal mine. There is a difference, a big difference on these. You're talking about huge differences. I could actually bring this all the way out to this side and do the same kind of thing. You know, add in this dirt, add in the gravel, and then some coal or something like that. It is highly possible. I mean, I'm just going to stick with this side just for now, but it does help. It really, really does. Anyway, moving on from that, let's see how this is coping. Not too well. Where's the next coal? I mean, the next coal train is on its way in, but we are running out of coal once again. We'll see. Right. Let's see where we go. Okay. Let's speed that up a little bit. It's a bit slow. Just want to see how much does that bring in? 100 and... See, that goes through it very, very quickly. That's something to be concerned about. Anyway, we were looking at passenger lines today, so we're going to stick with the passenger lines. Let's see how New York's doing. 31 going that way and 19 going the other way. I was expecting a little bit more. 33 going that way and 25 coming in. I was expecting just a bit more, but clearly that hasn't exactly worked out. 584 is what we are heading for. That's a new noise. That's a new noise. That lower pitched chime. What is it? Used to be a much higher pitched noise. Oh look, there's more buildings coming up. I'm not sure what that noise is. Who do we have here? 80 here, 25 and 21 waiting. And yeah, as I thought, those that would go for this do not actually jump on board this. Those that come from Reno do not tend to, or New Haven do not tend to jump on for this. This is a busy station though, just take a look at that. I mean, that is a lot of people on the station. You are looking at a fairly busy station here. And a busy station that isn't overflowing. That's an important thing to remember. So we've got 140, 150-ish people? I think about 140 people I think we had. So that has picked up 45. That is much better. That is much, much better. This is going to pick up a full train, which is important. There it goes. This is not going to pick up a full train. So that hasn't... This is still not working. It's just 36. 41. Half a train. Not particularly ideal. But the platform is, you know, people are using the platform. Here comes another one. Now, this one's only going to have 20, 23, 25. I really, really would like 30 minimum on these trains. Because otherwise it's not worth having that third carriage out of here. Ah, here we go, look at that. The Newport Miami commuter has got a fair amount of passengers. So we've got another full train going out for Newport News, which is fantastic. And we're going to have we're going to look at a 60%, come on, potentially. Is it going to be 75% full? No, yes, no. Ooh, just short. Just short of 75%, 70% full. That's okay. That's okay. It's still making money, which is good. Let's go further up the line and take a look at New York and see what the passenger levels are like. So we've got 4 on the New York Laredo line, which is not a lot at all. And then we've got 22 going for Newport News. Currently we have 40 on board. Then we end up with 53 on board. That's good. I'm happy with that. That's fairly good. 53 of 60 is a good train. 32 of 60, not as great. Let's move over to McAllen and see what we have. Somebody just picked up people. It's 32 of 60. It's still a half a train. And there are people going across the road to... Why do these people just not cross here and go in through there? I do not understand. 12. That's a problem. 22. Now that's something I'm not happy with. Although it is a much smaller town. Oh look, they're building on this side now. Fantastic. Fantastic. They have managed to get over to this. Oh no, hold on. Did they build on that side already? Now I'm a little bit confused. Where did they build this for? I'm not sure. No, they did not. Look, this is new. This is certainly new. I would rather they build out this side, but still. And going over to Baltimore, what do we have? 43 of 60. That's good. I'm happy with that. 187 wanted to go to New Orleans. Okay, that's a problem once again. Why does this keep happening? So, are these stations suddenly a lot quieter? No, this is still a fairly busy station. There's still people waiting. How many on board that train? 51. How many on board this train? 60. People are still certainly waiting for this. And 68 on that train. So these trains are still running okay. 40 out of 40. 27 out of 40. 31 of 60. Now there's another one that's not great. 42 of 60, 33 of 40. I want full trains. 40 of 40, that's what I'm after. 23 of 60 is not. 258 waiting. Makes no sense. It just makes no sense. And then of course when we go over to Miami we end up with vast numbers of people waiting for trains. And there's just absolutely nothing, and I do mean absolutely nothing, we seem to be able to do about it. My only thought here is to stop them going to Laredo and have it just run to Miami and turn off whilst these ones go all the way to Laredo. That's my only other thought, to try and compensate for this mess. Because you can see here, that has 80, that's going to drop off all 80, and it's going to pick up 80, I think. There you go, it picks up 80. That's fine. This has 53 already. I mean, it did drop off a fair amount, and it's got 60 on board. I could increase the length of the trains, but then that's going to cause problems at Laredo again. Okay, so there's a lot that we need to think about here. How's Miami doing anyway on people? 832. That's okay. And to finish this episode off, let's go back to McAllen and see how it's doing on its growth. 161 going for 163. That is not too shabby. That is not too shabby at all. New York is going for 337. We have a new vehicle available. It is a ship. Not something I'm particularly caring about at this point in time. 484 for Newport News. And as always, a busy station, but not unduly busy, which is good. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transport Fever 2. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Don't forget to support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. It would help me create these videos full time and be able to earn a sustainable living through YouTube and content creation in general. Also, if you go onto social media at ecgadgetslp for both Twitter and Instagram, you will find two of my social media pages where I am somewhat active. I'd like to be a little bit more active on them, but I am somewhat active. But do go ahead and give it a follow if that kind of thing interests you. That is all from me, and I will see you guys next time in Transport Fever 2, where I have not decided what I'm going to do. Maybe we'll go around sorting out the freight and changing them to those new Mercedes-Benz wagons. Or Daimler-Benz, I think, at that point in time. Daimler-Benz wagons. So I think that is what we will do next. And I'll see you guys then.